There was a time when every Marvel movie felt like an event. Theaters packed, fans cheering, trading theories as they waited for that post-credit scene. But nowadays, it feels like the world's moved on. I'm not delusional. I know the MCU isn't what it used to be, and yeah, there's a part of me that's bummed out by that. But I also think that it's kind of short-sighted to say that this universe has nothing left to say. And for me, the story isn't over. What's up, cinephiles? Welcome, or welcome back if you've been here before. I'm Thomas, and this is Thomas Goes to the Movies. And today, I wanted to take a moment to talk about why I still love the MCU. But before we dive in, a quick note. This is just my take. I'm not saying that the MCU is perfect, and I'm certainly not here to give an objective analysis. I just wanted to write something of a love letter to my favorite film franchise. I'll also assume that you've seen most, if not all, of the films and shows. If you haven't, well, consider this your spoiler warning for the 50-plus entries that make up the MCU. Now, with all that out of the way, let's take a look at the franchise as far as today's audiences are concerned. To start off, let's talk about the MCU's gradual slide and how it shaped public perception. Throughout the 2020s, it's become clear that the Marvel Cinematic Universe doesn't quite feel as exciting as it once did. Where fans once lined up for opening night, general audiences now tend to go only when it's convenient, or just wait for the films to hit streaming. One of the oldest criticisms, even before the days of Infinity War and Endgame, was oversaturation. I remember when Ant-Man came out in 2015 and the big online conversation was about superhero fatigue. At the time, I couldn't quite wrap my head around it, but these days, that argument carries a lot more weight. Between the sheer number of releases each year, whether it's a theatrical film or a new Disney Plus series, it's understandable that people are starting to feel burned out. Casual viewers don't want to feel like they have to subscribe to a streaming service just to keep up. And with other franchises like Star Wars and the Monsterverse adopting the same shared universe approach, it can feel like that's all you ever see anymore. The next major criticism directed at the MCU is the uneven quality between productions. She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, faced backlash for the CGI design of Jennifer Walters, while Quantumania caught heat for, well, pretty much everything. But quality issues don't stop at visuals. Many fans have pointed out a lack of focus in storytelling, especially since Phase 4. A lot of projects feel disjointed in tone and narrative, with few of them clearly building toward the next big event, 2026's Avengers Doomsday. And then, of course, there are just those who simply tapped out after Endgame. The franchise had lasted over a decade, and the stakes had never been higher. For many fans, Tony Stark's death, the godfather who launched the entire MCU, just felt like the perfect ending to the story. This is where the defense rests, at least in the court of internet discourse. But for me, it's not that simple, because even now, after everything, I still absolutely love the MCU. Now, in the last section, we went over a lot of reasons why people have grown tired of the MCU. Whether it's fatigue, uneven quality, or simple oversaturation. And honestly, I think there's a pretty valid argument for all of them. I totally get why that would kill the momentum for a lot of people. So why do I still care? Why, after all this time, am I still here watching every new release? Well, allow me to explain. First of all, there's just the sheer creative potential that comes with a universe this massive. There's no shortage of fascinating worlds, characters, and tones throughout the MCU. That applies not just to the stories being told, but also how they're being told. Back in 2022, Marvel released a one-off special featuring the horror character Werewolf by Night. This hour-long short oozes the atmosphere of old Universal monster movies from the 30s and 40s in both look and sound, and it absolutely nails it. It's actually become a Halloween staple for me over the past few years, and I highly recommend checking it out if you haven't already. I also appreciate how Marvel takes chances on characters who might never have had the spotlight otherwise. Characters such as Falcon, Hawkeye, Echo, and Ironheart. That kind of experimentation keeps things interesting, even if not every project hits the mark. In post-Endgame, we've seen new and exciting directions for established heroes as well, like Sam Wilson stepping into the mantle of Captain America, or Wanda Maximoff's descent into full-blown villainy in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Marvel Studios has always made an effort to treat each project as its own genre piece, with the superhero elements as the connective tissue. The first Avenger is a World War II film, Ant-Man is a heist movie, even Winter Soldier borrows the tone of a political thriller.
Want to see my lease?
Sure, they've applied this formula with varying degrees of success, but when it works, it really works. And while it might be hard to believe in the year of our Lord 2026, there used to be a real sense of community being a Marvel fan. When a new MCU film dropped, theaters were packed. People showing up opening night, buzzing with excitement about what they were about to see. Fans shared theories with complete strangers online, especially after that post-credits reveal of Thanos at the end of the Avengers. Everything just felt alive. I still remember seeing Infinity War in theaters. That moment when Thor arrives in Wakanda, lightning blazing, the entire crowd erupting. It was easily one of the most electric, surreal, movie-going experiences of my life. And then that silence after the snap, the shock, the sadness, the speculation about what Endgame would bring. It may have started as just a series of superhero movies, but somewhere along the way, it became a culture, a shared story that brought millions of people together. And sadly, that feeling has faded over the past half-decade. That said, we've seen glimpses of it coming back with the excitement around Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four First Steps. And honestly, I hope that spark keeps growing. And finally, there's what's probably the biggest reason I can't let go of the MCU. Nostalgia. I really started viewing the MCU as a full cinematic experience back in 2012 with the release of The Avengers. The week before, I binged every Phase 1 movie and then went to see it at this tiny rundown theater across the street from my college with a few friends. The first date I ever went on with my wife was an IMAX screening of Doctor Strange in 2016, a movie that, coincidentally, starred my all-time favorite Marvel character. Honestly, I can tell you exactly what stage of my life I was in, based on whatever MCU movie was out that year. Where I lived, who I worked with, who my friends were. These movies have always been a kind of timeline for me. They've been with me through it all. And I'm always excited to find new people to share that with. The prosecution has laid out their case. Fatigue, uneven quality, oversaturation. And honestly, all these criticisms have merit. I get it. The MCU isn't what it used to be, and I can understand why some people have walked away. But the defense, my defense, rests on something different. The MCU still gives us incredible creative worlds, new stories, and fresh takes on familiar characters. It still brings fans together, sharing excitement, anticipation, and the sheer joy of being part of something bigger. And for me, it's wrapped up in personal memories, movies tied to key moments in my life, and a community of people who feel the same way. So here's my verdict. The MCU may not be perfect, and it may not be for everyone. But for me, I'm still here. I'm still invested. And the story isn't over yet. Who knows what comes next, but I, for one, can't wait to see it. And if you made it this far, thank you. This video exists because I still believe there's something worth talking about here. Not just what the MCU is now, but what it's been trying to say about responsibility, legacy, and the cost of power. If that kind of conversation matters to you, liking the video and subscribing really helps this channel grow and ensures we can keep exploring these stories together. Because, from here on out, that's what this channel's becoming. I'm going back through the MCU, character by character, phase by phase, film by film. Not to relive it, but to re-examine it. To trace the arcs, the themes, the decisions that slowly shape this universe. And whether anyone planned it or not, all these choices are pointing toward the same moment: a reckoning, a collision of everything that came before, a countdown to doomsday. And if you want to be here for that journey, I hope you'll stick around. But until next time, cinephiles, I'm with you to the end of the line.